How do you handle your woke friends? Coming up next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. It's our mug of the month. It says agape. And it's from 1 John 4:19, which is our verse for today. We'll get to it in a minute. And of course, in that mug, we've got Headbangers Brew. Do the brew. Headbangers Brew in ground, whole bean, decaf, K-cups, 5-pound bags. We got it all. And you can get all of that, plus all of our swag. We got a lot of it right here at wearemetalwearfamily.com. Well, here's the question. Dear Pastor Bob, in one of your podcasts, you talked about social media. That was just a few podcasts ago. You said that it wasn't wise to start political arguments. But what about in real life? What do you do when your friends bring it up and they want to start a fight with you? Well, these days, it isn't just discussions. It seems to be more of a fight, and that is true. And in the United States and all over the world, people are polarized with opinion and narratives and, conspiracy theories. And I heard a really good definition of conspiracy theories this week. It says, a conspiracy theory is usually the difference between a conspiracy theory and reality is about 6 months. It could be true. But what do you do with people that don't agree, especially politically? It brings me back to a time that I believe I was probably 10 or 11 years old. And we used to, for 4 years in a row, we spent our winters in California. I'm from Montana. Of course, during the winter in Montana, there's nothing to do but stay inside and be cold. And so for 4 years, we went to California for the winters and lived there. And I remember I was, I think, in 5th or 6th grade. And on the bus stop, we were talking politics. It was that time of the year. It was, I think I can't remember exactly who was running now, but there was a big discussion about it, and I knew who my dad was voting for, and this girl that was at the bus stop, obviously her parents were voting for the other guy, and it was a pretty heated argument, honestly. And we'd argue, and, well, this person's going to win. No, this person's going to win. Well, that person is no good. And we went through this argument. And so I mentioned it to my dad. And he said, well, it's going to get you in trouble. And so we kept arguing. And then the day came when the vote had been tallied, and the person that my dad voted for won. Yeah. So I just couldn't wait to get to the bus stop and rub this in this girl's face. See who won? See, the better man won. And I told my dad, I can't wait to rub it in her face. And he said, you have a decision to make. He said, you can either keep her as a friend or you can alienate her today. He said, it's your decision. How you treat this is your decision. He said, if you go to the bus stop and you don't mention it, but you're nice and you're friendly and you act like nothing's wrong and you don't rub it in her face, you'll probably remain friends. If you don't, you probably won't. And I thought about that, and it was so hard because I really wanted to rub it in her face. I did. And you know that feeling. But I didn't. I took my dad's advice and I didn't. And I got there, and I think she was probably expecting me to do that. But I didn't. I didn't mention it. After a little bit, we were laughing, we were friends again. It was never mentioned again, and I kept her as a friend. You know, there is a common denominator here with politics and with world events, but also with just the way we treat people and the way we act with them. And it is this verse that we've used on our poster for the month. It's the love month, and I am the love doctor. And and it's 1 John 4:19. And it just says this: we love each other because he loved us first. Don't you love that? We love each other because he loved us first. That is the whole reason that we love. And it's not just the worldly love, but it's agape. It's unconditional love. It's what my dad taught me to do when I got to the bus stop that day. Agape. To rise above the discussion, to rise above that feeling that I had to rub it in her face, and to love her unconditionally, to stuff the rest of it. Now, I don't mean that you need to stuff your feelings all of your life, but there are these times when agape love rises to the top, and we look at the situation and we say, I need to agape. And folks, these days, in our woke society, there has never been more of a need to agape, to rise above all of this and to love unconditionally. It's important. And folks, I hope that you will take this advice from the Word of God and say, I choose to love. I choose to agape. I choose to love unconditionally, because that's what Christ did with me first. Well, folks, don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.